this video, I'm rolling with Lawrence again. This is our 6th round together, and I actually included 2 rounds because one was only 6 minutes. And I figured I wanted to give you a meaty video. So there I just used the X-guard sweep. Very simple, very basic. X-guard it's tougher to get to the position than it is to execute a sweep once you're there. That's why the entries are important. Leg entries. So we're talking, joking around a little bit. This is our first round together at this open mat. Actually, this is a regular class. That's why the round was only 5 or 6 minutes. So Lawrence is a relatively new purple belt, and he's going through all the adjustments that new purple belts go through, where you feel like you're not worthy, imposter syndrome, thoughts of quitting, being submitted by a lower belt. All the things we deal with when we are basically a junior black belt. Faraz Sahabi said, if I give you a purple belt, that means that I could see giving you a black belt one day. And he thinks a lot of other instructors feel that way, and I would tend to agree. If you don't watch his channel, it's a TriStar Gym. He was George St. Pierre's coach and an all-around martial arts genius as far as MMA and martial arts in general. So here, Larry let me pin his wrists. He's looking to get a butterfly sweep. He plays butterfly guard. He's trying to control my head posture. There, he just stood up, which I thought was a good move. I think he should have stayed standing. Here, he's trying to creep in, which is good, but he needs to get his legs involved. Here, he doesn't really have any specific hook. And he's giving me his head posture, which almost, if I really wanted to, I could shuck his head down and go for a guillotine. Shuck his head down with my left hand and guillotine with my right. So there I was able to get a sweep. There I was looking to staple his leg and pass, but he gave me too much resistance, so I went back to trying to flatten his leg and kick my leg free. So I'm using one leg to free the other there. And I'm trying to incrementally pass his guard. He's very strong. You know, he's a little bit smaller framed, but very thick. I'm not sure how much weightlifting he does or if it's just the strength of youth. Again, looking to pass incrementally. At some point, I'm going to strip that left hook that he has on my leg. He's doing a good job of maintaining and making space and bringing his knee back in. He knew I was going to try to do a speed pass there, and he was able to sit up. I wanted to see if I could just do a quick speed pass because I felt the pressure pass wasn't really working. But now I'm back to the pressure pass. I like to variate between passes and between sides. There, he got a good sweep, I'm noticing. I'm going to have to watch that again. That caught me by surprise. So here he's doing a similar pass to me. He's going to want to shuck my left leg, but I have my right hook in. So that right hook there, as soon as he takes weight off, I can start sweeping. So he knows that, and he's pushing it down with his left hand. But that ends this round. Now we're going to go on to another round. I think this round was at open mat, so it's going to be even longer. I like doing long rounds with Larry because he's an athletic guy and he really applies himself. And it gives me a lot to fight off. And I'm trying to do it without exhausting myself by using strength and athleticism. So here we're starting out. I have my double hooks. There's a bit of dialogue in this one, especially at the end. We have a nice conversation. One of those post-roll conversations you have about technique and your classmates and things they did that impressed you. So stay tuned for that. I'm working on getting a rash guard out there. I'm working with, I don't want to say it yet, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like I'm working with my first sponsor. So once I receive any gear to confirm that, I will put it on the channel with the link on where to buy it. So Lawrence has my left leg pinned. Well, not really pinned, I'm in a half guard. And I'm looking to stick my right hook in. We kind of ended the other round this way, where I was like creeping my right hook in. Because it's going to be hard for him to kick over. And if he kicks high enough, I could sweep him. Like it kind of does the sweep for me. So he's trying to figure out the puzzle of my legs. So that's a good one. Anytime you could get your body on the hamstring like that, that's a very strong position for passing. But I was able to just keep my hook in. As you can see by my face, I'm not nervous. I wasn't worried about getting past. I knew that that hook at the end would save me. So here he's trying to do like a butterfly pin pass where you pin the butterfly hooks to the hamstring and then jump around. But he's making a series of fundamental errors. So there he tried to clear the hooks. That left leg, if he just kicked it straight back, he'd clear that hook. I hope he's not going to watch this. Or point that left knee towards the ceiling. If he points it back and towards the ceiling, I won't even really have the right hook anymore, and it'll clear the bottom left hook. I'm letting him get the left side underhook. Now here I'm looking for the Kimura. I even thought about switching to a guillotine. He was looking to grab my head there. He put a lot of effort into it, a lot of strength, but I still have my left hand really preventing that grip from being meaningful. And now I'm back to annoying his left arm. And dogfighting up from the opposite side. That's so my right arm, I was just waiting for him to do something so I could come up, and now he's basing back because he noticed that. And now I'm going back to an arm drag on the left arm. So as you could see, the bell just went off, but we're continuing. It's funny, when you do 8-minute rounds, 12, 13-minute rounds, doing a 3-minute or a 4-minute round feels like 20 seconds. I pretty much know I could go full out for that amount of time and catch my breath at the end if I was competing. If I had good health insurance, I'd be competing. But I'm a freelance photographer, and if I get injured, I won't be able to stand on my feet all day shooting somebody's wedding. So people ask me all the time, do you compete? But I'll also say this, even though I'm worried about missing work or whatever, I'm worried more about having some injury that needs surgery, or something that's going to hurt me for the rest of my life, or something that's going to get really bad once you get into your late 60s, becoming arthritic. I don't want any of that, and I don't think that the competition is worth it. Personally, I grew up in Brooklyn, and I wasn't particularly a tough guy, but even so, I've had my share of altercations. So I don't need to prove myself, starving myself for 2 weeks into a tournament or whatever, and then you go there and you get your knee blown out. So here we just reset the position. I have double wrist control. I'm just doing it to be annoying. When I'm ready to pass, I'll attack. See, I'm starting to staple the leg there with my left arm. I want to staple his leg and get on his hamstring, but he knows that, so he brought his knee back in front. Here we're wrist fighting, and I'm looking to bring my left elbow in front of his knee, just like that. And I even tell him, I say, that was a big mistake right there. In my opinion.
I'm just saying, I was waiting.
But in my mind, I know I was waiting for him to move his leg so I can make my knee-elbow connection in front of his knee, which will lead to a stronger passing position.
Gotta try something.
He said, I have to try something. Which is true. You should always try, and don't worry about making mistakes. I'm talking more for the new people. You know, if you're blue belt and under, make your mistakes. Just run at that black belt's guard. You know, let's see what happens. Engage. Don't run away the whole time. Don't try to compete with him. Just engage, see what happens, and move on. So there I'm trying to staple with my left arm. He's trying to grab my head and come up. Oh. Technical stand-up. So here I'm just going to give him a little heat. We're doing some ferocious wrist fighting, left-right movement. But you see, my left-right movement doesn't work when he's connected to me the way he was, because he could just spin with me wherever I'm going. If he's not attached, it's much more effective.
Which? I'm
So I think I told him that was cool or something, or good job. So I have the double wrist control again. When I'm ready here, I could always, I like this pass. I could kick his leg off. Oop, I went to the ankle lock there. Not really, just a threat. Not that it can't be finished from there, but I was just looking to be more flowing. So in this position, it's always good to try to break the posture by using the arm drag and pulling on the head at the same time while trying to engulf him with your legs. That's really the key.
You want to get my leg? Get my leg over there and leave your leg.
If you want to get into the submission zone.
Nice.
Thank you.
But they're always a lot of respect.
I just wish you weren't breathing heavy.
I tell him I don't want him breathing heavy after a round, and he said he's not, and he said I'm breathing like you, and I said yeah, but I'm 50, gonna be 52. He says, you're 20 years younger than me. I should be a walk in the park for you.
You always hear that. Like it's like a symphony in my
So now we go on to talk about he was caught in an Ezekiel choke by a blue belt. And he felt like embarrassed by it, or maybe, I don't know, humiliated. I don't want to speak for him, but he was really bummed out over it. Because in his mind, blue belt should never submit. But this blue belt is very strong and has this one thing that he does well. He has a good Ezekiel choke. He's catching everybody. It's not something. It's something that is special that he does. Overall, is he amazing? No, but he has one good thing that he does. And if you don't defend it, or if you haven't seen it, there's a high chance that you could be caught in it. So Lawrence was so bummed out over this that he was actually, I don't know if he was serious, but he was saying he was going to quit jiu-jitsu. And then it became a joke to me. It's like, oh, you got Ezekiel'd by a blue belt and now you're going to quit. But what it leads to a deeper issue is you can't worry about that. I mean, if a guy outweighs you by 30 pounds or 40 pounds and he's a belt lower or something and he submits you, or he's 20 years younger, or whatever the case may be, you shouldn't be upset. There's a lot of equalizers in jiu-jitsu. De-equalizers, right? You can only be so technical. If the guy outweighs you by 150 pounds, you know, you can't be upset if he gets you in his favorite move or whatever the case may be. So we really have to let go with our ego and realize that it's about learning, and if you get submitted by a lower belt, learn from it, you know? And I think you'll find if you do get submitted by a lower belt, it's usually by surprise, because he's doing something that you're not used to, something that he honed to a higher level. You know, yeah, maybe it could be a fluke, but flukes are uncommon in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, really? He catches me with that day in and day out. Yeah. That's like his go-to move.
So I'm leaving in a little post-roll banter for you.
30 to 40. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was almost 100 pounds.
I did. It was in the back.
That's my coach Marek in the background. So again, I have a new partnership coming up, possible sponsorship. If anybody wants to help, you know, wants to sponsor the channel or has a product they want me to put, just let me know on Instagram. You could send me a message on Instagram. In case you guys don't know, I have an Instagram, Jits Over 50. I also have a Facebook page, Jits Over 50. So please like and follow, comment.
Because he was so good, right? But also, he was never really challenged. And whenever anybody got into deep water, he lost. Right? I wouldn't want to.
But thank you for watching, and please like, and if you haven't already, subscribe.
Right?